Hello, everyone, and welcome to the RPO Leadership Forum, a free monthly webinar series hosted by the Recruitment Process Outsourcing Association and presented by RPOA members. Today's webinar is titled RPO Technology Driving Success and Candidate Experience. This is Lamis Abu-Rama, Executive Director of the RPOA. I'm really excited to welcome a new guest to the RPO Leadership Forum, Nicole Clark. Hi, Nicole.
Hello, Lamise. How are you?
Good. Nicole is a recruitment marketing guru with decades of experience in advanced recruitment strategies and digital transformation for recruitment, talent attraction, and staffing. Nicole, along with co-founder Rick Mayer, launched Shazamme, an innovative company and disruptive recruitment marketing technology based out of Australia. Shazamme has been an RPOA member since 2022, and we are thrilled to have them as an iCoco partner.
Fantastic. Well, welcome everyone. Very excited to be presenting this presentation for you. There is so many great opportunities in RPOs and even staffing agencies themselves to help make you more successful online and drive talent attraction and great candidate experience. I'm Nicole Clark, very passionate about recruitment technology and helping clients be more successful online. And I'm always here should there be any questions or anything you'd like to talk about to get greater insights on what's going around the world and what's working in this industry, because there are some really good things people are doing. And I represent and I'm co-founder of Shazamme. So let's kick it off. So the RPO website tech landscape, you need to be thinking about how you can modernize and improve experiences. So a lot of this that we're going to be running through is around the website architecture. What should you be thinking of in a careers site to drive engagement and success online, and making sure that the employer that you're representing, or your brand even, has the right ecosystem set up and provides a perfect candidate experience. If you're in staffing, obviously you're concerned about the employer experience as well. Look at your mobile device. It's so important. Most of the research that goes on is done on mobile phones. The stat down the bottom, you can see that 90% of job seekers do start that journey on a mobile phone. So you want to make sure that it is a perfect experience. And we'll talk more about what does that look like. Think about putting jobs on a map. People are looking for opportunities that are located near them. If they're not remote, they're probably wanting to work close by. So jobs on a map is a great one to be able to show exactly where those jobs are located. We're going to talk a little bit about QR codes. If COVID has given us one thing, it is the use of QR codes is now very prevalent, and it's almost like an addiction. You see a QR code and you need to scan it. So starting to use it in recruitment is a very good idea. We're going to talk a little bit about landing pages, how important they are, and all the things you can be thinking about doing with them. Your jobs, the jobs that are actually sitting on your careers site or recruitment website, are probably one of the most pivotal pieces for your brand's search engine optimization online. So making sure that people can find you in the first place for the things that matter to you. And a little bit about, the platform that's out there at the moment that's going to maximize these efficiencies to make you be able to manage your brand very quickly and easily yourself. So one thing I really want to put into everyone's minds here is recruitment is now marketing. It's no longer just about being able to post and pray. It really is, if you market your brand correctly, and a lot of this will be done naturally if it's set up correctly on your career site or website. We want people who find you being the perfect fit, and we want them coming from where you want them coming, and there are strategies for that. So building a successful recruiting brand, you need a solid foundation in place, and that is making sure that there's a destination. When someone does a Google search for a particular type of job opportunity or is looking for a company and their jobs, that the person you want being found or the company you want being found has a high propensity to come up. So we'll run through what the recipe is and at least some of it. We don't have time for all of it, and give you some insights on that. So really, when you come down to it, the career site needs to be the solid foundation that then supports everything else that you do in the World Wide Web. So making the case, how do you make a case that you need a careers site for a client? There's quite a few points here, and I didn't put them all in, but to be thinking about, it's really crucial to be showing the EVP, the employer brand, is so important. And what's the value proposition? People need to land on a careers site and be able to see that. And the jobs are so important that they're SEO optimized, that the application process is seamless and easy, and ideally, a minimum of sort of 1 to 2 clicks to be able to apply for a job. And putting forwards the culture, what's a day in the life of a job with this organization like? And I think with AI, what we're going to see is a lot more video content, because ideally, it's real people talking about a day in the life of their job in an organization are the sort of things you should be thinking about. A competitive advantage. So you want the people that you're representing from a careers perspective to be the employer of choice. That people go there and the feel of the careers site is, wow, this is a place I'd really love to work. Now, you don't want to lie about that culture and that feeling, but it's about getting the real, what is a day in the life like at this company? Because some people will be attracted to it and some won't. So the idea is you get the people who are attracted to the right culture, and they're stickier, they will stay for longer, and they'll enjoy their job. So really important to get that across. When you're making the case for a careers site, you want to be able to prove your ROI. So what advertising have you done? Is it Facebook, LinkedIn, Indeed, any of the other platforms that are out there, or the careers site itself? What's the ROI? What results are you getting? What applications came from where? And you should be able to do that these days with modern careers site technology. We want to definitely improve the candidate experience, as I mentioned earlier. It needs to be seamless and perfect, or the only people that you're going to end up losing are the ones you want applying. So keep it short, make it quick and easy for people to apply, and keep them engaged with relevant content. Quality applications will come and flow in because of the way that you've structured that up, and they will convert because they're relevant traffic. We mentioned jobs on a map and QR codes, also Google for jobs. If your jobs for the RPO you're working in or your staffing agency are not showing up on Google for jobs, you've got a problem. That should be fixed very quickly, because it's one of the first sources people are looking for jobs. They're searching on Google for a job just like they do any other thing they're looking up. We're going to talk a little bit, and I will touch on this as well, making sure things are secure. We've got a lot of enterprise grade recruitment agencies and RPOs now that actually can't use platforms like WordPress because of the inherent security issues with all the plugins that are required to make them work, from jobs to applications, job alerts, and all of those sorts of things. So they must be highly secure. Accessibility, do be thinking about accessibility, because from a legal perspective, you want to make sure that it's fair and jobs are able to be accessed by everybody, regardless of if they have any accessibility requirements. Making sure things are compliant is important as well from a legality perspective, and we will touch on that. And future-proofing a brand. I think as an RPO, when you're offering services, you are a thought leader, and you need to be turning up with insights and opportunities around technology and tech stack that are going to help your client be successful into the future. And ideally, you look at that regardless of whether you're part of that journey in 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, and get it set up correctly for them as a true partner and advisor. And we mentioned landing pages and campaign pages, but if you're doing any pay-per-click advertising or attending careers fairs or anything else, creating landing pages and campaign pages, and we have a few examples, really will help your recruiting efforts, especially if you use QR codes with that as well. And just, you know, the old thing, the candidate resentment is extremely expensive from a brand perspective, but also costly from, you know, an effort perspective too. So when you think of RPO website technology and your tech stack, it needs to be easily repeatable. You need to be able to rinse and repeat multiple times and have something that's very efficient and effective. It needs to be quick to deploy. You should be able to turn these around very quickly. And with easy to edit technology, it should now be as easy as you wanting to create a careers page and be able to go in a landing page and drag and drop. And literally anyone who would be listening to this right now would be able to easily edit and update the website, as well as add pages to a website with minimal effort. Obviously, it needs to be very great value. You don't want to be spending a fortune on technology like this. No need anymore. Career sites and recruitment websites should not cost a ridiculous amount of money. And most importantly, the tech stack that you're sitting on should be continuing to evolve, because things are changing at a rapid rate. So as I mentioned before, as an RPO, you must be providing better technology than the employer can themselves. So important to have that tech stack ready to go. Make sure you can track all your conversion metrics. As I mentioned, it's very important to know what's converting and what's not. In thinking about integrations as well, what other technologies are they using at the moment, and can you slot this in very easily with integrations? And that's the great thing with a lot of the career sites that can be developed now. The integrations, they can integrate with multiple different database platforms and ATSs. Be thinking about SEO. Your tech stack that you get on board, especially from a website or a career site's perspective, needs very high level SEO. You want these RPO businesses turning up when people are looking for jobs in their sector. And it's important to get that foundation set so that does become possible. Make it very easy for people to apply on a mobile device. As we know, it's one of the first places they are going to look for a job. And even now, we're seeing great success with people not always asking people to apply for a job, however, asking them to register their interest about an opportunity that they've got. And the traction rate and the increase in inquiries go up tremendously, because not everyone's ready to hit the apply button. So being able to coerce them in to learn more is really good. You want good support. Make sure that any tech platforms that you're choosing integrate like they are one, but also that you've got good support across the world should you need it. And very importantly, make sure that it's highly secure. Just here's a bit of an example. On the first page, you could see if you are managing a multitude of RPOs or a few, you should be able to see them from one dashboard and be able to quickly and easily jump into the one that's relevant to you and edit and crop and update and change images, and literally from a drag and drop perspective, be able to do anything you can now do. So just showing you this because it's amazing now how you can duplicate pages, create pages, update things with absolutely no technical aptitude at all. You can now create anything that's going to help conversions and attract the right people to your brand, and even edit a mobile device so that you can remove particular pieces so it doesn't detract from your main messaging. So really, when you think career sites now, it's about bit like Canva, but for career sites and recruitment websites, where now anything that you dream up and imagine, you can actually bring to life, which is really exciting. Finally, a bit of an example. So on the side here, we're looking at how to set up a career site for success from a foundational level. And that is, what is it that this client is regularly recruiting for, or what do you recruit for? It's the same for a recruitment website as it is for a careers site. If they're in construction, you need a construction jobs page. And on that page should be all the content about the day in the life of a construction worker in this business. And it should ideally have some video on there of people that are doing the job and working in that organization, and all the great EVP and information that's in there. And you should break it down by silos of what is it that they do, so that if somebody's to arrive there from a Google search, that straight away they're seeing a page that's relevant to them and they go, oh my gosh, this is the exact company that I want to work for, because this is my job. This is what I do, and I want to do it here. So you can see on the right here, this has just been scrolling through one of our RPO clients, Fujitsu, who's set up 3 different careers sites for 3 different purposes, to be able to track different people from both internal, contract and perm workers. And they can then build on this, either themselves or the RPO can go in and edit the content also. So yeah, we want to make it very easy for people to search for jobs. Some of the things you do need to be thinking about from a job. The job is one of the most important pieces on any recruitment website or careers site. It's going to drive, or it should drive, your search engine optimization so that people are knowing the sorts of jobs that exist on that website. The problem that we see is a lot of the job board experiences and or the job ads themselves are driven from the database or the ATS platform. Now, what that can mean is that it sits potentially on a jobs dot the client's brand domain, or it may even be iframed in, where those jobs aren't natively on the careers site themselves. So ideally, you see the client's name. So think mcdonalds.com/careers and then the job ad. So very high SEO at a job ad level, and it should automatically pull through the title of the job ad and the industry sector. These, once again, are very important for SEO. They're saying that this client has jobs that are relevant to this particular industry. Make it easy for people to apply, 1 click, ideally. Don't ask multiple questions unless you absolutely have to up front. That is something that should be addressed after the application has been received. You don't want to lose anyone, especially in those hard to fill roles. Social sharing, really important, whether that's the recruiter themselves that's recruiting the position, sharing this job from the job itself out into the World Wide Web, so that every click results in someone coming back to this job from wherever they've found it, is important, or if the visitor themselves wants to socially share jobs. Job alerts, must have job alerts. It's the most easiest free way to get people returning to a brand because the new job's been posted that fits their credentials. Make sure you have similar jobs. People that looked at this job also looked at these. And so in here, you know, a lot of times in the URL, you'll just see numbers or stuff that makes no sense at all. That's the things that we want to get rid of. We need it sitting on there, on your brand that you're representing, and never, ever have it link out from the website to somewhere else like the applicant tracking system or the database. It's not a good user experience. So RPOs need to be delivering innovative solutions. Any recruitment company needs to be providing innovative solutions. You need to move with the times and modernize the experiences. And a careers site or a recruitment website shouldn't be something that you just build today and then never touch again for another year. It should be evolving day in and day out with what's going on in the environment and what you and who you're trying to attract, so that you can make it more successful, even to the fact we've now been able, and we can, let's take Fujitsu for an example. They've got 3 career sites at the moment, but we can easily give them a search widget that could be put on the front of their main website that could drive traffic through to those careers sites in the form of a job search widget. So think, you know, typing in a job and a category. Improving experiences, landing pages. We'll have an example of that in a moment. QR codes we've mentioned. Think about chat. Sometimes different communication forms. Some people will want to chat to you. Some people will want to apply. Some people will want to email you. If it makes sense, allow chat on a careers site so you can answer those questions on the spot. And use those facts and data to really drive what is and what is not working for you. So here's an example of the campaign and landing pages. So on the left, we've got a packaging company. Here's a bit of content around, a day in the life of working in that company. Now, this one is actually a recruitment agency doing this landing page on behalf of one of their employers. And what they've done is build out this page to talk about the opportunities within this organization. The minute that they post a job that's relevant to this client, it streams through to this page. And they also put a form submit on there that if there's a general interest in working for this company, people can just register to learn more. On the right, more of an exec search opportunity where they'll get the CEO to talk about an opportunity in the day in the life in this situation of Box Hill Institute, which is an education facility. And on this landing page, they will actually drive relevant traffic via LinkedIn that they personally reach out to and say, hey, Lemise, I've seen your profile. It looks perfect for this opportunity. It's located here, and here's a little bit more information about it. If you'd like to know a bit more, let us know, and we'll send you the secret passcode to be able to access this page. And of course, everyone's sort of, oh, wow, secret passcode to a secret page. But you don't have to do that. Obviously, it can be open on the careers site, or it could be on a hidden URL. So only when you email your network do they click on that and find the page, so it can be hidden. But these passcode protected pages have become very well received because people are very interested to learn a bit more. And an example of a QR code. Any page now can be turned into a QR code. So if you're going to a careers fair, you quickly want to do a landing page, you should be able to drum one of those up, send it live, right click on it, turn it into a QR code and use that on a billboard or on a poster or on a receipt. And I'll give you some examples of that in a minute. Here it is. So whether it's on any page of any website, you could run campaigns where the QR code is on a vehicle. It could be in bus, train stops, billboards at the airport, in the in-flight magazine, any QR codes, you could drive that back to a job itself or to a landing page or even to your job board specifically. So if you've got recruitment drives on, think about, where could we be putting QR codes? Is it in shop windows? Is it on receipts? Is it on menus? It's limitless now, and everyone can access QR codes, and they're being a really good conversion opportunity. So talking about reducing risk for your recruitment brand, there are a lot of regulations. These are just a couple that we've seen coming up in conversation quite recently. One of the big ones with RPOs, and one of our RPOs, has been around the requirement to show salary in job ads. Now, this is popping up all over the states. There's multiple states now that this is a requirement to have the salary in your actual job ad. So if you're not doing this, you do need to be careful. It is easy, or it should be easy. Literally for us, it's turning a toggle on that just shows the salary. As long as it's being put in the job ad, we can display it. So be thinking of that. Accessibility tools, we did touch upon that before. Very easy. You can actually even get free ones that can go on a website that just allow different accessibility requirements to be catered for, but it's inoffensive. It sits there and you just click on it and it can be used very easily. So think about reducing that risk of what's going on with the careers sites. When we're talking about tracking and analyzing, you do want to track and analyze everything. Where is your traffic coming from? What is it doing? Is it converting? So did someone who came from Facebook because they saw a job land on the page? Did they then look at a couple of blogs and travel around the website? Often what you'll find is the tracking capabilities are lost at that click on the job ad themselves. You don't want that, because often people then journey on around the career site, or they should, if it's interesting enough, and look at other jobs. And you want to track that the sixth job that they looked at, they did actually apply, and that came from that original Facebook click. So really important that you're testing that. A/B split testing, so creating two of one thing. That could be a landing page, could even be a homepage. It could be a multitude of different things. Test it and see what the results are. Did the A/B split test that you did with the CEO talking about the opportunities within his organization or her organization convert better than the page that had the person who's working in the opportunity convert better? So you've got tangible evidence to go back and present. And ideally use a central dashboard so you can see all of this stuff and you're not having to waste lots of time trying to couple together all this data and this information. So yeah, ROI on every dollar you spend and every minute you spend on stuff should be taken into account. RPO opportunities and keeping up. So really, this is about supporting your clients in a really modern way. Don't sort of cause delays on the opportunities that are out there, because there are so many. If you use technology to promote you, you want to really be proactive and able to do things quickly without being reactive. And price, should be very affordable now for technology that can drive this. You are technologists now. That is what you're bringing to the table, or should be bringing to the table. And that is where I'd be saying, reach out to industry experts that do this day in and day out, because they'll be able to offer a lot of advice. You're not in this alone. I know for us, we're always educating clients around opportunities, and solving problems is pretty much what we help them do, because we know every tech stack that's in the game, and we know who's using what. That please use that. Use your connections in the industry. They'll have lots of insights. You're not in it alone, and create that solid foundation for any brand that you're representing, including your own, so that the propensity to attract the people that you want finding you is enhanced. Don't have a billboard in the desert that no one's ever going to find unless they know who you are and what you do. So it's very important. So a lot of content, I know. I'm Nicole Clark. Please don't be a stranger. I'm here to help, and we do love everyone contacting us to learn how to be more successful at recruiting using technology online, and of course, specifically career sites. Thank you,
Thank you, Nicole. Yeah, absolutely. And we do want to open the stage for questions. If you have any questions for Nicole, please feel free to drop them in the chat or the Q&A, as I mentioned. Nicole, I think what I love about the tool, I'm a big fan of Canva, and whenever you compare Shazamme to Canva, that's a wonderful analogy. It's with Canva, it's not the technology only, but the design that you get with the tool, and not having to work with an actual designer, having all of that best practices built into the tool, instead of having to figure out stuff on your own. Things like including the salary, for example, and being ahead of technology, regulations, all of that, you're taking care of all of this. You probably mentioned this, Nicole, but does Shazamme integrate with ATSs?
Yeah, so we're constantly bringing new ATSs into the mix. It's probably a really good point you make, Lamise, around the integrations. It's so important that the integrations are very tight. And it's like that all the platforms are one, they're that well connected. So I think to date, we've got over 35 integrations with different ATS platforms. And as clients come on board with different requirements, we'll integrate. No costs there anymore, because it is quite easy. But yeah, it makes a big difference to have things properly integrated. And it's probably one of the biggest failings that we see for career sites and corporate organizations and employer brands, even staffing firms, is that if the integrations aren't great, everything falls apart. So it's important that you do look at that.
Fantastic. And for someone who is just moving into Shazamme, in terms of implementation, what should they look at in terms of timeline?
Yeah, so good question. Traditionally, we run at about 4 to 6 weeks on average of creating a career site, or bringing, a lot of times we'll bring a career site or a recruitment website over exactly as it is, because people just want to get on modern, better technology that they don't need to code. No more coding. Coding is finished. So yeah, depending on, sometimes it can be a lot quicker where people need it done faster, but we will match in an employer brand to the career site so that no one would know the difference between the two. And yeah, it's really quite quick now. And once we've built it, we then hand over the keys and our clients can just go for their lives and update, edit, create as many job boards as they want. And yeah, it's so much fun to use.
Perfect. Which is the way it should be. You just hand off the key and they are in charge.
Exactly.
Wonderful. All right. Well, I want to thank our speaker. And before I let our audience go, I have a few quick announcements, especially for those who are new to the association. I just want to introduce the audience quickly to the Recruitment Process Outsourcing Association. We are a member-driven and mission-driven organization serving the global RPO ecosystem and striving to be the place to go for RPO. The RPO ecosystem consists of anyone in talent acquisition with interest in RPO. This includes RPO providers, buyers, recruiting technology like Shazamme, HR consultants, and so forth. Our mission is to nurture a collaborative community where thought leadership can be created and curated to educate the marketplace about RPO. Our corporate members and technology sponsors provide the primary funding for the association. Our community membership is free and open to anyone. We currently have over 340 community members. We also have some strategic partners that add value to our members, including Everest Group, IDC, and Clearly Rated. The RPOA produces educational content in collaboration with corporate members and sponsors. Our content is focused on talent acquisition trends and best practices for the talent acquisition community. We host 2 active blogs, produce a monthly newsletter, and 2 webinar programs. The first is the RPO Leadership Forum. It's a monthly webinar series scheduled typically for the 3rd Tuesday of each month. And these are typically 30-minute webinars presented by RPOA members, like today's webinar. And we welcome Shazamme to the RPO Leadership Forum. Next month, we have a webinar on an insider look into recruiting trends presented by Advanced RPO. And in July, Catherine Feely of Orion Talent will be speaking on the importance of upskilling and reskilling initiatives. You can find upcoming events on the RPOA website under the Events tab. The second webinar program is the RPOA Expert Panel. Typically, we produce 3 to 4 expert panels a year. I expect the next one to be in July around the status of global RPO. You can access webinar recordings and other content through the RPO Academy on the RPOA website. Lastly, I want to invite our audience to our premium event of the year and the only place you'll meet the largest community of people passionate about RPO. The RPOA annual conference this year will be in Chicago on September 24th through the 26th, and everyone is invited. Registration is now open on the RPOA website, and we hope you can join us. With this brief overview of the RPOA, I'd like to conclude today's webinar.
Thank you so much, Lamise. Lovely seeing you, and thanks everyone for joining.
Absolutely. Thank you. And thank you, as Nicole said, thank you for joining. Please stay connected, stay engaged, and stay informed of what's happening in the talent and RPO world by tuning into the RPOA, the place to go for RPO.